The series Counter-Narratives 2017 by Alexandra Bell presents errors in media coverage by manipulating visual media, framing, headlines, and eliminating unproductive details. Through appropriation art, the project examines a series of New York Times articles that Bell found particularly problematic, specifically articles that attempt to represent race. She leaves visual traces of her interrogation with her red pen, crossing out words, circling pictures, and posing questions all across the article. By making her marks all over the article, often resizing images or providing entirely new ones as the article may necessitate, she lays bare the ingrained codes and languages of white supremacy that usually go unnoticed. Her piece Charlottesville 2017 troubles a Times article describing a white nationalist torch rally. The original article was pushed to a column on the side of the front page, juxtaposed with an image of two smiling children taking center stage, while only a suspiciously small picture depicts the rally in the corner. Bell calls attention to the image placement, literally writing, "Why is this image here?" over the picture of the children. Her final edits of the paper give the article, "White Nationalist Protest Leads to Deadly Violence," most of the page, rescaling the picture of the protest to make it the focal point of the page. The original layout of this article worked to obscure an act of white supremacy, de-emphasizing it by giving it less space on the page. In an act of what she calls restorative justice, Bell appropriates this article in order to correct it. She is reassigning space.
I'm really trying to see if I can disrupt subliminal messaging about who should be valued. I needed kind of one of the most respected institutions that kind of prides itself on getting this right to kind of say, actually, nope, you're not getting it right.
Her work employs theories from Stuart Hall's piece Representation in the Media, where he explores how representation in the media gives meanings and codes to people and objects, including blackness and whiteness. The codes that are assigned to visual representations begin to inform the public's perception of the actual object or person being represented, and thus these codes have affected the real world. She is not attacking the media or anyone. Rather, she is engaging her viewers, asking them why they did not see these articles as problematic, and what systems or subliminal methods of propaganda have led to this apathy and willful ignorance when it comes to Black people. Her work echoes the art of Black Panther Emory Douglas. Both artists use the medium of the newspaper to spread awareness not only with words but with visuals. By placing her art in public places, she is forcing the public to look at her edits, highlighted with red pen in the same way a teacher would edit a student's work. She is calling into question their blind faith in respected media outlets like the New York Times. Like all street art, her work is intended for public consumption, claiming space to bring important issues into the public and create conversations. One of her most well-known works is her piece on Mike Brown. Her newly chosen article title describes him as a teenager with promise. This piece evaluates an article in the New York Times that attempts to position the lives of Michael Brown and his killer, Darren Wilson, at a crossroads. Using her critical eye, Bell identifies all information that she deems to be irrelevant to the story at hand. Rather than simply cross out the offending material, Bell chooses to black it out completely, giving no space to harmful representations of Black people. She grants the most space to a picture of Michael Brown in his graduation cap, giving no space to Darren Wilson's story or his picture. He does not need space or representation. He still has his agency and his life. While the majority of her work is put on the street, her works are displayed in gallery spaces and on college campuses. She is bringing the art to the people who need it the most, anyone who consumes news media, especially the New York Times. The public nature of her art allows for audience interaction. Because the art is displayed in public places, it becomes the people's art. On her Instagram, Bell captures how the public has responded to her art. Her public art is ephemeral, subject to possible graffiti and removal. Because the art is displayed in public places, it becomes the people's art, and they can do with it what they will. By engaging in restorative justice, she is forcing future news outlets to engage in thoughtful news, rejecting narratives that assist white supremacy and inviting her viewers to participate.